It is Sunday, which means I review a comic starring my favourite DC character, the Spectre. And in the first week, my schedule is already broken because I didn't do a video yesterday. I was meant to review j.s.a. issue number 2, but I was busy, so I didn't. Today, though, I am looking at the Spectre and Dead Boy, and this is finally a comic with the Spectre's origin in. I've been promising this for a while. Unfortunately, this comic is an absolute stinker. Even the cover is pretty rubbish. This is like meant to be an optical illusion thing, where you could see one of two things. You could see Dead Boy, or you could see Spectre. But the problem is, Dead Boy is far too prominent and well defined that everyone that looks at this, at first, they're just going to see Dead Boy. Nobody's going to look at this and immediately see the Spectre. It just doesn't work. And if it was just Dead Boy, if you held it like that to cover the eyes, you would have no inclination whatsoever to see the Spectre here. We open up, and this is Dead Boy's origin. And this annoys us because the cover says Spectre and Dead Boy. It should be Dead Boy and Spectre. And at least if it was Dead Boy and Spectre, then the cover would be a little bit better. That would explain why Dead Boy is at the forefront and Spectre is literally the background. But Dead Boy has a really, really, really good origin. This isn't it. This is a revised version that has this whole thing about an order of spiritual believers in the Himalayas and how he was always destined to become Dead Boy and how it was fate, and there's a conspiracy about it and stuff, and it's just not very good. It ruins the origin, to be honest. This is the best part of the whole comic. An advert for Dr. Fates. It's a good series, this. I own it. But we're 5 pages in and we haven't even seen Dead Boy yet. Oh, there's another ad there. Together for the first time, Infinity and the Insiders. I think I might have this as well. I'm not 100% sure though, because Obsidian isn't there. I've mostly just got the ones with Obsidian in. But we finally get to see Dead Boy 6 pages in, and I'll say this, the art for this story is really, really good. It is better than it deserves. But straight away we're back with the Himalayan group, and we really slowly trickle out Dead Boy's actual origin. This is his missus here, and I had never noticed before just how pretty she was. In the old stories and stuff, she doesn't strike us as this pretty, but here she's gorgeous. She's a knockout. And we're just basically padding pages here, not really telling Dead Boy's actual origin. And when we finally get to it, when he's performing at the circus and he is assassinated by gangsters, he is shot, you think finally we're getting to the meat of the story. But nope, it ends on the next page immediately when he becomes Dead Boy. It doesn't tell the part of the story where he goes in hunt of the people that killed him. It just ends. It's not very good. And then we're on to the Spectre, and this one is mostly bad because of the art. The art is really, really bad. This is meant to be a big, exciting splash page, but the thing is, you can effectively see that this is just a stick drawing here. A stick drawing that they've just added mass to. The art is basically just a guy that is a bad Todd McFarlane clone. You can really see that in his face there. And the story is, Phil Spector, he has just gotten engaged to a woman that is called Clarice, but she's also called Kim. So I'm going to call her Kim because that is a nicer name. He has just gotten engaged and he is a police detective, and this is a good example of how bad the art is. Look, let us focus it in. Look at that fucking face there. That is awful. That is terrible. He's got no forehead. He's got no eyes. It's awful. That is so bad. He's a police detective. He is investigating some crime. He's meant to be going to a party with his fiancée. He stops the crime and then he gets to go and see Kim. And she's not the best looking, to be honest. He could do better. They get a kiss though, so that is nice. And the gangster that was behind the crime that he broke up, he wants him killed. So they capture Phil and Kim, and they put Phil in a barrel and fill it with cement and throw it into the ocean. So Phil dies and he goes to heaven and he meets God, the real God, the one that made Jesus and that. And I think God must be having like an off day because he's been really weird. He's like, no, you can't come in. Your work on Earth isn't done. So Phil has to go back to Earth and fight crime as a ghost. He's got to continue his fight against injustice. So first things first, he goes to save Kim from the gangsters who are getting ready to kill her. He turns one of them into a rat and the other one into whatever this is meant to be. And then he saves Kim's life. And this bit's really stupid. He breaks up with Kim and it's just like, our engagement's off, Kim. We can't get married. Not ever. But why, Phil? Tell me. You owe me that much anyway. I didn't want to hurt you, but isn't it obvious? I've ceased to care. Goodbye, Kim. And this just completely comes out of the blue. It isn't built to in any way. It's like, it's just stupid. Then he goes back to God and he's like, oh, God, how can you cast us out of heaven and make us live in this never-ending hell? And then God says, but your work isn't done yet. Kim is still endangered. So he puts on this costume, becomes a spectre for the first time. No explanation whatsoever is given to why he's suddenly dressing like this. The thing is, Kim's mother she's got this fake medium fellow with a crystal ball. So Spectre comes out and proves that he's a con artist. And then the guy tries to kill Kim. And this is where God pauses time. And he's like, all right, I've considered your request. I will permit you to move on to the afterlife if you are willing to go right now. But if you go right now, this bullet will hit Kim and she will die. And this doesn't seem like the real God at all. This seems like someone pretending to be God. God would never be this mean. But Phil Spector, he does what a hero does, and he goes, my choice is simple. I have to save her life. So he is forbidden from entering heaven and instead cursed to live forever as the Spectre, punishing crime. And to start off with, he saves Kim's life and he turns the fake medium. He traps him inside a mirror and then smashes the mirror. And that's basically his origin there. It's told okay. There's some really bad writing in it, but it's merely the art that's making it so bad. This comic just isn't very good. It's disappointing. You've got two characters with really good origins, and neither of them are told well. They're both botched. I'm only going to be able to rate this one 7 thumbs up.